This show is brought to you by Visa.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is On the Money Quiz Show with Visa. My name is Lecha Kotla and I will be your host. Remember, this is your program for all issues financial literacy. So if you want to get your financial literacy up, do keep it locked because here is the place to be if you want to learn about such things. As usual, I am not by myself. I'm joined by three incredible human beings who will be introducing themselves to us in just a bit. But before we do that, I do want to remind you that on this program, all of the content is curated for educational purposes only. If you require financial advice, please do make sure that you enlist the services of a trained professional. With that said, I want us to give a bit of focus onto you so that you can introduce yourselves and your businesses. Remember that this season we have a focus on small and medium enterprises. And that means that all of our participants will either be entrepreneurs who are keen to take their businesses to the next level. I'll begin with you, Nchizi.
Evening, Lecha, and thanks for having me.
Yes.
I am Nchizi Anthony Mukento, founder and director of Seasons Capital, and also founder and director of Better Space Africa, which is an ecosystem, business development builder, and holistic person development.
Awesome stuff. Gefenze?
Good evening, and thank you for having me. My name is Gefenze Hohanang, and I am the founder and CEO of Good Footwear Incorporation. We have a bold vision to produce other types of footwear for retailers and for corporate institutions.
Awesome stuff. Cool.
Good evening, Lecha. My name is Kuma Mase. I am the founder of Huma, which is a financial education business where we provide financial education to every individual.
Great stuff. As you may have noticed, ladies and gentlemen, all of the faces here on stage are absolutely familiar. Yes, they are people who we have been with previously, and they have brought forward their points from the last episode that they competed in. Those points are, we have Nchizi at 70 points, as well as Kumo, you also have 70 points. And Gefenze is just a little bit behind you guys with 50 points. But tonight, everything can change. Guys, are you ready to play On the Money Quiz Show with Visa?
Of
Ready.
course, yes, we are.
Just to remind you the rules of the game, we're going to do this in 3 rounds. And for each round, I will give you 3 multiple choice questions followed by 3 true or false statements. Your task is to get to the buzzer first and tell me what is the correct answer. If you press the buzzer before I'm done asking the question, you will not be able to attempt that question, and it can only be attempted by the remaining participants. Chizi, Gefenze, Kumo, are you ready?
Ready.
We are ready.
Your first question. Cash-only businesses may face which disadvantages? Cash-only businesses may face which disadvantages? Is it A, increased customer satisfaction, B, losing customers who prefer digital payments, or C, lower security risks? Gefenze.
The answer is B.
The answer is B, losing customers who prefer digital payments is indeed the correct answer. We move on to your second question. A digital-friendly business is more likely to A, grow revenue, B, lose customers, or C, reduce convenience. Chizi?
A.
Grow a revenue. Why do you think digital-friendly businesses can grow their revenue?
I mean, we live in a digital era. So one thing we preach is digital adoption.
Mm-hmm.
So with the digital space, you reach a wider spectrum of customers. Yeah.
Right. And that in turn can also grow the business's revenue. Absolutely correct. And choosing A is the correct answer. Question number 3. Entrepreneurs and businesses protect themselves from fraud by A, using secure payment systems, B, accepting handwritten card numbers, or C, storing CVV codes? Cheesy?
A.
A, using secure payment systems. Entrepreneurs and businesses protect themselves from fraud by using secure payment systems. And Cheesy, A is indeed the correct answer. We move on to our true or false statements. Your first statement. Visa's purpose centers on enabling people and businesses to move money securely so economies can thrive. Visa's purpose centers on enabling people and businesses to move money securely so economies can thrive. True or false? Kuma?
That is true.
That is true. And indeed, that is the correct answer. Visa focuses on secure, reliable money movement that supports progress for individuals as well as businesses. Your second statement. Visa's brand storytelling highlights big once-in-a-lifetime moments. Visa's brand storytelling highlights big once-in-a-lifetime moments. True or false? Come on.
That is false.
That is false. That is false. You don't sound sure. Why do you say false?
Visa offers more than just once in a lifetime experiences. So I believe there's more to Visa than that.
Yeah. Visa is a large organization with a number of products that support brands out there. So you're absolutely correct to say it's not just about epic moments. It's a lifetime partnership. Come on. That is the correct answer. Question number 3. Making it. Making it is used as a Visa content pillar to reinforce personal progress. True or false? Defense.
True.
True. That is indeed the correct answer. It reinforces Visa's role in everyday progress. We have come to the end of round 1, ladies and gentlemen. When we return from the break, we'll have those scores for you, and then we'll be getting right into round 2. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Those scores for you are, we have Kefense with 70 points. And Nchizi and Kumo are still tied with 90 points each. We move on to our second round. And our first question is, which of these is a short-term goal? Which of these is a short-term goal? Is it A, buying a new fridge in 6 months? B, saving for a child's university, which is 15 years away? Or C, retiring at age... Unfortunately, I wasn't able to finish that question before you press the buzzer. So I'll be reading it again for Kumo and Nchizi. Which of these is a short-term goal? Is it A, buying a new fridge in 6 months? B, saving for a child's university, which is 15 years away? C, retiring at age 60? Come on.
The answer is A.
The answer is A, buying a new fridge in 6 months. That is the correct answer. Question number 2. Tracking your spending is important because A, it's a bank requirement. B, it helps you identify leaks where you might be overspending. Or C, it makes you eligible for more credit. Defense.
The answer is B.
The answer is B, it helps you identify leaks where you might be overspending is indeed the correct answer. Question number 3. Discretionary income is the money you have left over after A, paying for all essential needs and taxes, B, getting your first paycheck, C, buying everything you wanted. Given.
The answer is A.
A is indeed the correct answer for that question. Our statements now. Number 1, you should never adjust your budget once it is set for the month. True. True or false? And cheesy.
It's true.
True. You should never adjust your budget once it is set for the month. And you say the answer is true. Unfortunately, that statement is false and cheesy. We do know things happen and we should be able to practice some kind of flexibility when it comes to our financial goals as well. Unfortunately, that is not the correct answer, so you won't be getting any points for that submission. Number 2, saving for a child's university education is considered a long-term financial goal. True or false? Kumo.
That is true.
True. Saving for a child's university education is considered a long-term financial goal. So, how can we determine what is a long-term financial goal?
For the most part, finance has short-term is defined as anything between 1 and 3 years. Then medium-term would be anything between 5 and 10 years. And then more than 10 years would be long-term. So if we're talking about a child's education, it is usually on the longer term.
All right. Amazing explanation. That is indeed the correct answer. The third and final question for round 2. And it reads, small daily savings like 10 pula cannot grow into a significant amount over several years due to compounding. True or false? Cheesy?
False.
False. Small daily savings like a 10 pula cannot grow into a significant amount over several years due compounding. And you say the statement is false and cheesy. That is the correct answer. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just completed round 2. When we return from the break, we will have a look at our scores and get right into round 3. See you soon.
When it comes to the future of payments, Tap to Pay is leading the way. And now, it's taking a giant leap forward with Visa Tap to Phone. Visa Tap to Phone transforms Android and iOS smartphones and tablets with NFC into go-anywhere payment devices. And there's no extra hardware to buy or maintain, so sellers can now easily accept contactless payments. Yet for all its simplicity, Tap to Phone comes with a world of security. Every Tap to Phone solution is independently evaluated to make sure it meets Visa and industry requirements, all while leveraging the security of EMV chip technology. Let's take a look. When the Tap to Phone app is opened, the seller's phone is verified for safety and compliance. A dynamic key is then created, which encrypts the payment data. Card data is never stored on the seller's phone, so it can't be reused and is always authenticated on the Visa Global Network. And payments are processed just like other contactless transactions, right down to the funds being deposited into the seller's bank account. It's the kind of convenience and assurance that's giving consumers more ways to pay in way more places. At home, on the road, or out on the town. Visa Tap to Phone, making the future happen one tap at a time.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We do have those scores for you. Kifense, you have 90 points so far. followed by Nchizi with 100 points. And Kumo, you are in the lead with 110 points. We're at round 3, and anything and everything can change at this point. Let's see what this round has in store for us. Your first question. What is a cash journal? What is a cash journal? Is it A, a diary of your dreams? B, a record used to track a daily cash inflows and outflows? Or C, a bank statement? Givens.
The answer is B.
The answer is B, a record used to track daily cash inflows and outflows. Givens, that is the correct answer to the question. Question number 2. When looking for the best bank, you should choose A, the one with the most advertisements, B, the one with the biggest building, or C, the one that suits your specific needs. Defensive. I'm going to give the question to Nchizi and Kumo. And it reads, when looking for the best bank, you should choose A, the one with the most advertisements, B, the one with the biggest building, or C, the one that suits your specific needs and offers the best rates. Nchizi.
C.
C, the one that suits your specific needs and offers the best rates is indeed the correct answer. Question number 3. If you reconcile your budget, you are A, asking the bank for a loan, B, comparing your planned spending to what you actually spent, or C, paying off all your bills at once. Nchizi?
B.
B, comparing your planned spending to what you actually spent. When you reconcile your budget. Nchizi, that is indeed the correct answer. When you reconcile your budget, you're comparing your planned spending to what you actually spent. Now, we move on to your true or false statements. The first one being, the principal of a loan is the total amount you pay back, including all interest and fees. True or false? Nchizi?
False.
False. The principal of a loan is the amount you pay back, including all interest and fees. That is an incorrect statement, and therefore you have that answer correct. This statement in of itself is false. So your answer is correct. We move on to the next statement, which reads, a credit score is a numerical summary of your credit history and reliability as a borrower. True or false? Nchizi?
True.
True is the correct answer. Our final question for tonight's episode. And it reads, missing a single loan or credit card payment can negatively impact your credit score. True or false? Defense.
True.
True is the correct answer. Competition has been tough here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. When we return, we'll have those scores for you, and we will get to find out what is going to happen next on the Money Quiz Show with Visa. See you just now. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So we have those scores, and they are as follows. We have Kefense and Kumo having a tie with 110 points each, and Nchizi is now in the lead with 140 points, making you, sir, tonight's winner. How do you feel about your performance?
I'm all right. A bit nervous, a bit shaky, but we did it.
Yeah? Ladies?
It's okay. It is well. It is well. That's all we can say.
This means that we'll be seeing each other again in the following episodes. and you are going to be carrying your points forward to the next competition that you will be in. I wish you all the best, and I thoroughly look forward to seeing you again in future episodes. Ladies and gentlemen, that was tonight's episode. Do make sure that you stay tuned for tonight's tip of the week. Other than that, that is all that we had prepared for you from myself tonight. Until I see you again, it is thank you and goodbye.
SMEs typically make the following common mistakes. The first one, and it's an everyday one, is mixing your personal income and expenditure versus the business income and expenditure. This means that it's very difficult for you to monitor how the business is performing, where you're seeing growth, where you need to double down and put more effort. The second one is that most SMEs don't treat their businesses as a financial enterprise. What do I mean by that? Most SMEs do not force themselves to budget, to forecast, and to live within that budget, such that they know that this is my target for this year, this is my target for this month, and for me to do this target, I need to do X, Y, Z for me to get there. These two are some of the key business mistakes that SMEs make. On the other side, SMEs also make the mistake of relying heavily on cash when there are other digital means of receiving payments or paying. Like I mentioned earlier, this means that it's very difficult for financial institutions such as banks to know how much money you're making and your capability as a business, which makes it difficult for them to extend financial products to you that can help you take your business to the next level.
This show was brought to you by Visa. Everywhere you want to be.